Yes, sir. I have made it, sir. Please.
Oh, thank you. Is my slides visible?
Yes, sir. It's visible, sir. Please.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So we know that there are all these factors can influence neural plasticity. As we were talking about the extrinsic factors, one of the tool what we bring in from the domain of yoga is meditation. So we know that meditation is a systematic process, particularly which brings in various dimensions which are taken from various ancient texts of India. So this process has been very well defined in Patanjali Sutras as the seventh limb called dhyana after dharana and leading to the phase called samadhi. It is the core of one of the important dimension called Antaranga Yoga. Otherwise, the initial part is Bahiranga Yoga. So this is in recent times developed as an independent discipline, and it has become more synonymous with the mindfulness today across the world because this word has become very familiar. We all know that the basic definition of dhyana given by sage Patanjali goes like Tatra Pratyaya Ekatanatha Dhyanam, which says that allowing your thoughts to flow in an uninterrupted stream and taking yourself to that state of contemplation is dhyana. And if you look at the way meditation is progressing, we have multiple classifications. In the East, it is as simple as what we said just now, as Patanjali, sage Patanjali described. But in the West, there are two major classifications. One is concentrative type, which is also brought under focused attention type of meditation, while second one is open monitoring type or mindfulness-based meditation. I have just put together, tried compiling all those practices which are all which have some amount of evidence or research done under these two categories. Like people have used a mantra, repetition of a word, or a visualization, then using different body parts through sensationalization or particularly visualization, and several others as tools for doing concentrative type of meditation, while open monitoring type have used going over the thoughts and bringing specialized ways of understanding feelings and using memories, sound, smell, even body sensations, etc. have been used as a means of doing meditation. If you look at the world literature on meditation, you will see the major amount of, particularly on yoga, the major amount of research publications you see from meditation research. So 60% of publications come from meditation, while hardly around 10% coming from yoga posture-based research, while 30% come from pranayama-based research. Though the research evidence is taking us more towards meditation, the world is embracing more of asana-based yoga, but probably we need more and more evidence even in that area. So this gives how the interest in doing research in meditation is increasing over a period of time from 1990s to 2022. The last 1 to 2 decades have been an amazing time for us to have excellent amount of evidence or research work done on meditation. Many countries have contributed. Meditation research has become global. USA has lots of contribution to meditation research. 38% of publications come from there, while India, UK, Canada, and several other countries, as you can see in this publication, including smaller countries, be it from Europe or Africa, they all have contributed to meditation research. While a lot of experiments were being conducted in India, a lot of meditation research also has started from the West. The movement of transcendental meditation by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, ranging from 1918 to 2008, has resulted in excellent amount of publication coming from there. May I request Jyoti ji to mute your mic. Jyoti ji, thank you. So you can see here two wonderful scientists, Robert Keith Wallace and David Ohm Johnson. They have published their work in early 80s and early 90s, all talking about transcendental meditation and its influence on aging process, bringing EEG coherence, and ability to bring respiratory suspension and changes in range of hormones, and particularly looking at how you can reduce stress levels. Another individual who brought in meditation to greater scientific level is Herbert Benson, who instituted and who started the Benson Henry Institute of Mind-Body Medicine at Harvard Medical School, connected with the Mass General Hospital, started all the research work from 1960s, who actually created this meditative practices through visualization, etc. And he created a new word as an antidote for stress response called relaxation response. Another individual in meditation research to remember is definitely Richard Davidson, who is the strongest follower of Buddhist meditation. And he has done a lot of work comparing Buddhist meditators and novices, as well as control subjects who are not doing meditation, suggesting that meditation practice brings in a lot amount of plasticity in the brain, particularly looking at the areas of the brain which regulate emotions as well as memory. So we come to this point in understanding why lots of studies are once again proving the fact that probably meditation influence that part of the brain which regulate attention on one side, and those regulating emotions and particularly bringing various dimensions of memory. Another an interesting study which looked upon open monitoring type of meditation, which suggested that when you do this practice, it can probably influence the part of the brain which regulate memory, which regulate attentional processes. So these are all some of the functional MRI-based studies which demonstrate where exactly this blood flow changes happening when you are doing this practice. You can also see there is a lot of inhibition, reduction in activity through other in the other areas of the brain. Apart from just looking at the function, we have also looked at several studies looking at the other functions like autonomic functions, etc., comparing various other meditation techniques like Brahma Kumari, Raja Yoga meditation, Om meditation, cyclic meditation, etc. Probably we have a little more than 1,000 meditation types. But world over, if you look at the scientific evidence, you can pick selected number of them. What was interesting for us was also looking at the plasticity of the nervous system. When you go through this meditative practice, like the various phases of meditation, all of us remain in a state of chanchalata, which is random thinking. From there, we move to ekagrata, which is focused attention, and then move to dharana, which is intense focusing, and then to dhyana, which is the state of meditative being. So now when you look at what exactly happens to your autonomic nervous system, when you go through these phases of meditation, it's very interesting to note that during dharana and particularly during dhyana, it induces a state of alertness, at the same time brings lots of the physiological processes to a relaxed state, like the heart rate going down, then the sympathetic activity going down, parasympathetic activity going up, all suggesting that there is a possibility of changing it. We had also done some studies looking at functional plasticity. So can we really change different functions through the practice of meditation? Looked upon using evoke potentials as one of the measures, which is actually based on EEG, and then taking the average of EEG to elicit a response based on a stimulus given. We looked at auditory stimulus. So this suggested that probably when you do meditation, it works at that part of the brain which acts as the main relay center, the mesencephalon and diencephalon, the thalamo-hypothalamic areas. And also we looked upon the brain and meditation during using imaging studies, functional MRI, which suggested that the frontal lobe is very active when you do meditation, particularly the areas like anterior cingulate, dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, and regions of limbic system were very active. This is not just our study. You can see subsequently several other studies have reiterated the same findings. So this is a comparison between the phases of meditation, like comparing chanchalata with ekagrata, then dharana and chanchalata. In just I summarize because of the lack of time that you can see in dhyana, apart from stimulation of the frontal lobe, particular area connected with attention, it also brings in a lot of inhibition. That's the beauty of meditation. We always think that meditation activates lots of activity, lots of areas in the brain. But at the same time, it brings in lots of inhibition in the brain. Withdrawal happens right from the brainstem area. So then the question comes, is it only the function of the brain which changes? Can we also change the structure of the brain? This one study done by Sarah Lazer in America suggested that the practice of yoga, focusing on meditation, can increase the thickness of cortical areas, once again related to attention, as well as increase subcortical gray matter in the areas such as right insula and hippocampus in long-term Vipassana meditators. So knowing that, where do we use all this knowledge? There are several conditions where you can apply it in disease management, as mentioned over here, be it mental health, non-communicable diseases, or several other conditions. And we have seen its use extensively during COVID. These are some additional facts looking at individual components of meditation. There were studies done on various aspects such as Om meditation. So this suggested that this induces limbic deactivation as similar to vagus nerve stimulation used in depression and epilepsy. So probably if we can just repeat the syllable Om, that can have a profound effect on the limbic system. Hence, we say whenever there is an emotional upsurge, whenever there is any issue concerning with emotions, please do meditation and do something which is repetitive in nature. So another study on mantra meditation also showed a fact that it can trigger global inhibition of which is a feature of calming effect in the brain. When you combine meditation with asanas, meditation with pranayama, though in yoga, in India, we believe very strongly is meditation is a process of doing yoga, like you have yama niyama, then asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. But in the West, it is split, and there are studies conducted. In some cases, added meditation with asanas alone, in some cases, pranayama with meditation, all of them suggesting there are specific parts of the brain which either are activated or withdrawn their activities, all of them bringing the attention to hippocampus and the areas concerning attention. Structural changes, once again, this is another study reiterating the same results. Hippocampal dimensions were enlarged both in male and female meditators, suggesting that probably the effects are similar, whether whichever gender it is when you talk of meditation. And this once again talking about how the whole process can be seen much more in detail. And the larger gray matter volumes were also seen in meditators, particularly suggesting that a singular ability and habits to cultivate positive emotions and retain emotional stability and engage yourself into mindful behavior was this important finding. And some interesting studies looking at mind-wandering meditation, but which is very straightforward to suggest how it can work. And a very interesting thing, like reactivity to negative emotions. This study demonstrated reduced reactivity in right dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, particularly at amygdalar level, which is connected with negative images. So there are a series of such studies, some talking about positive emotions, how joy, compassion, hope, faith, forgiveness can be increased, and also the areas involved with empathy, happiness, and pleasant feelings, etc., were also seen through meditation research. If you ask me a question, how long should we meditate? What is the benefit we can fix as a duration? Long-term meditation practitioners, about 30 years of meditation, have shown an amazing impact of it on the brainstem area, apart from all other areas which we spoke, which controls the cardiorespiratory system. And that's how earliest studies in India, like be it those studies done by All India Institute of Medical Sciences and other places on greatest yoga masters, demonstrating the ability to voluntarily control your involuntary functions, which is all because of your control over the brainstem area, which regulates cardiorespiratory thing. As I was telling, it's not just activation, it's also inhibition. This one study suggested the brain GABA levels increase significantly when you practice yoga. And also 12 weeks of yoga also demonstrated improvements in mood, anxiety, etc., and particularly talking about the whole impact of it. Meditation is also useful in managing pain. Probably pain perception can be significantly reduced with the practice of meditation. And there are several pathways which are very well worked out. This is a summary of it. I'm not going to the detail of it. Finally, let me say that meditation is an amazing practice. It induces a state of alertful rest. The sensory perception is enhanced and it becomes more accurate. The judgment and planning, learning, etc., are improved, and the awareness, but not reactive to external stimuli, improves. This is a very crucial thing. The problem with us is either we have to be we have to be aware but not reactive, and we react to external stimulus very strongly. Probably meditation is that which helps in maintaining and restoring our health in a particular way. The three people, we have seen evidence to suggest that the boss is taken care, and the core where we experience things have shown the modifications with the practice of meditation. The troublemaker has been silenced, which is particularly your limbic system, through the practice of yoga. So let me conclude by saying that the whole process is basically to bring the activity of meditation into an engagement, and that engagement should become a conscious process, and we should lead this whole process into a process of having that conscious intelligence in handling ourselves. I thank the organizers for this wonderful opportunity to speak to all of you. And once again, great privilege to be here. Thank you very much, Kundanji.
So you see what's happening, neuroplasticity through meditation, scientists and monks working together. It's wonderful, sir. It's wonderful work you are doing. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. So we move ahead. This is the person who is writing books. He's writing the knowledge. He's publishing the knowledge. Editor-in-chief of 2 international journals, International Journal of Yoga and Allied Sciences, International Journal of Science and Consciousness, honorary advisor, World Yoga Foundation, honorary advisor, Indian National Council of Yoga, above 90 research papers in different journals. Associate Professor, Department of Yogic Science, Uttarakhand University, Haridwar. Head of the Department of Yogic Science, Dr. Kamakhya Kumar. Sir, please.
Namaskar, Dhanyavad. Thank you, the organizing committee, Mr. Kundan Sandwar ji, Dr. Bharat Singh ji, David Sureshwar ji. I would mention Vaidya Rajesh Koteja ji, His Excellency Sri Harsh Kumar Jain ji, most respected Professor G.D. Sharma ji, Professor Manjunath ji, all the eminent speakers and the participants of this conference. My topic of presentation is yoga as lifestyle. Hence, we are running very late and will compile the things in very concise way. See, what is a lifestyle? There are two aspects of human life. One that is related with the physical body, the materialism, and the other that is related to the inner self, the soul. Spirituality. So materialism means an inclination towards acquiring material possessions and comforts. And spirituality means centered and established on the soul. That is, activities in the life decided keeping in mind the awakening of the soul. So life is only longevity, insight, fearless, and effective. So lifestyle is the interests, opinion, behavior, and behavioral orientation of an individual, group of culture. Someone's way of living. And what is yogic lifestyle? A yogic lifestyle involves conscious shaping our attitudes, habits, and general way of life to be more congruent with the philosophies, principles, morals, and ethics of yoga. While we will all have a highly individual way of implementing a yogic lifestyle. How to live like a yogi? Eat like a yogi, sleep like a yogi, love like a yogi, and think like a yogi. Generally, people ask what to eat, how to eat, when to eat. And this is all include the yogic lifestyle. Eat like a yogi, that is called mitahara. Half of the stomach should be filled with food stuff, quarter of the stomach should be filled with water, and quarter of the stomach should be